All right. All right. Make sure you're getting the sound check right. You gotta mute that. Mm-hmm. You gotta mute it. All right, sound check. Too much volume up here. Sound check, sound check. Sound check. Can if Shabbat Shalom, everybody, Shabbat Shalom, please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Trying to make sure and get the sound right. Set it up a little different today. Please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear us and sound is good. Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom. All right, Byron. You are tight. Who's that? All right. Shabbat Shalom, Officer Brad. Shabbat Shalom, Byron. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Brown. Sandra, NR Titan. Whoa. All praises to the Most High for Sister Jader. She made another year. All praises to the Most High. It's her birthday today. All right. Shabbat Shalom, Wholehearted. And all of our brothers and sisters that are with us today. All right. I am Captain Shazael RA. And as always, I want to give all honor, power, and glory to the Most High Yahweh in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Today I got one of the young lions with me. Snacking a little bit. That's that Soldier Keno. He's getting it in. And I got Shemayim with me today. She's not visiting online and trolling me today.
It wasn't trolling.
It wasn't a troll? That's not what that was?
If I wasn't trolling, I would have made a fake account. It would have been called Hate Page. Kingdom of Israel Hate Page.
Kingdom of Israel Hate Page.
Yes.
Don't get any ideas, please. Anyway, as always, we like to smile, give all honor and power and glory to the Most High for waking us up and blessing us with another Shabbat and another lesson, another opportunity to come and serve him, and another opportunity to learn in his word, through history, through all those things that he's given us to recognize the times, all those things that he's shown us for us to understand who we are, things revealed so we can learn from our mistakes, so we can learn from past transgressions, so we can get better. Okay. Today, we're going to learn about if you guys can kind of see the title, it says the unknown history. And please like, subscribe, and share the video. Yes, all you that did it, thank you very much. All praise to the Most High. The unknown history, the unknown Memorial Day of the Israelites. Okay. Can somebody, I'm going to start with a definition. Can somebody give me a definition for memorial? Or, I mean, let's just look it up. Quick fingers, quick fingers. What we got? What we got?
It's
Something, especially a structure established to remind people of a person or event.
Wait, say it again.
Something, especially a structure established to remind people of a person or a event.
That's good. Do you got the same definition?
yeah.
Same exact one?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. So it's a person or a structure set up to remind us of a person or what?
An event.
Oh yeah.
A structure or a person or an event, right? Okay, that's what a memorial is. All the way around, bottom line, it's a remembrance, right? This weekend, everybody, and I have to say this, I was guilty of this too, in calling Memorial Day a pagan holiday. And initially, when you look at it on the surface and what it is today, yes, it is very pagan. Okay. But the origins of Memorial Day actually are not. In case everybody don't know that, the origins of Memorial Day are actually not pagan. Okay. So what we're gonna actually learn today, if I can get my screen straight. What we're gonna do today is remember why we have a Memorial Day and all the things that we should remember according to Scripture. Okay? Because Scripture is given for our learning, our remembrance, and our understanding, for us to grow, for us to build, for us to show ourselves in righteousness, govern ourselves in our behavior with one another, and show ourselves approved to the Most High. Okay? I'm going to start off with Isaiah. Let's start off with Isaiah 46. Isaiah 46. And I want to get Isaiah 46, chapter 46, verse 9.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the former things.
Read it again.
Remember the former things.
Read it again.
Remember the former things.
Remember the former things, Israel. Every time, any time we bring up history in slavery with blacks, Latinos, what happened to the Indians, Native Indians here on this country, oh, that's all in the past. Why you bringing up old stuff? That's old. You know, that was in the past. That's over. Read it again.
Verse 9. Remember the former things of old, for I am Elohim.
Wait, remember the former things of old. Read.
For I am Elohim,
Mm-hmm.
and there is none else.
Mm-hmm.
I am Elohim, and there is none like me.
Mm-hmm. Read on.
Declaring the end from the beginning.
Wait. I want you to read up a little bit. I want you to project this way. Okay, start from verse 10. Start from the top.
Remember the former things of old, for I am Elohim, and there is none else. I am Elohim, and there is none like me. Declaring the end from the beginning.
Declaring what?
The end from the beginning.
Declaring the end from the beginning. Everybody understand that? He declares the end from the beginning. What does that mean? How does that even make sense? How does that make sense? That means in the beginning, it was already written what was going to happen at the end. He declared the end from the beginning. Everybody understand that? That makes sense to everybody. Huh? That makes sense? Okay, go ahead. Oh. So, in other words, we already knew what was going to happen to the children of Israel. We already knew that our people were going to go into slavery and captivity in the beginning. It was already written. We already knew the people that oppressed us are going into slavery at the end. So he's declared the end from the beginning, if that can make sense to everybody. Okay, read that.
Verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done.
The things that are what?
Not yet done.
Read.
Saying, my counsel shall stand.
My counsel shall what?
Stand.
My counsel shall stand. Nobody's going to change this judgment. There's nothing nobody can do. Read.
And I will do all my pleasure.
And I will do what?
All my pleasure.
So stop asking questions. Is it fair? Why would the Most High flood the earth and kill all those people? He's going to do what pleases him. If he sees fit to kill everybody on this planet and leave 6 people alive, and that's his pleasure, he can do that. You can't tell me what to do with my bowl of cereal. Right? You can't tell me how to eat my sandwich. Kids looking at me telling my dad, take the cheese off. You know, you don't need to eat it like this. Kids, it's my sandwich. How you gonna tell me how to eat my sandwich? Right? Dad, stop breathing like that. It's my breath.
Stop breathing like that.
You understand? So I want everybody to kind of understand the Most High tells us to remember things of old. He's declared the end from the beginning. Everybody understand that? Yeah. Okay, that's very, very key to what we are learning today. All right. Now I want to make sure we're gonna watch this video and get an understanding on Memorial Day. We happen to be in Memorial Day weekend. Okay. Everybody kind of understand this. We're in Memorial Day weekend. No. Let me get this straight. Let me get my camera straight, Israel. Bear with me. All right, all right. All right. Let's see. Everybody can see the sister, right? On camera. Coming through okay. All right. Got a new little setup here, Israel, trying to give a little edification, make sure we got our stuff taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Let's see.
Guess what? The Memorial Day celebrated today has pretty much erased the contributions of African Americans. But
can everybody hear that online? Everybody just please put in the chat if you can hear it online. I'm gonna rewind it and see, make sure you guys can.
The Memorial Day celebrated today has pretty much erased the contributions of African Americans. But aren't you surprised? First known as Decoration Day, Memorial Day became a national holiday in 1971. But Memorial Day's traditions actually date back to the days of the Civil War. John Lovey, a Union Army general, typically gets credit for founding the holiday. Here's how it really went down. The year was 1865. The Civil War was raging in Charleston.
Brad said, turn the volume up. Let me see if I can get some more volume. That might be what I got. Let's see. You know what? Can somebody? That's not. It's a Bluetooth. That's not gonna work.
It has this in it.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. That might be what we got right there. Let me start it again. Now when I get in.
Guess what? The Memorial Day celebrated today has pretty much erased the contributions of African Americans, but aren't you surprised? First known as Decoration Day, Memorial Day became a national holiday in 1971. But Memorial Day's traditions actually date back to the days of the Civil War. John Logan, a Union Army general, is credit for founding the holiday. Here's how it really went down. The year was 1865. The Civil War was raging, and Charleston, South Carolina was a hot mess. White people were like, we out. But thousands of black people, many former slaves, remained. At the time,
So basically, what she's sharing with us is that Memorial Day was basically originally, well, actually, so-called black people were erased from the history of Memorial Day. Okay, and she's sharing about this particular town in North Carolina. Was it Charlotte?
South Carolina.
South Carolina, Charleston, right?
Thanks.
Charleston, South Carolina. Basically, like she said, it was a mess. It was being ran out. It was being ran over, and the white people that were fighting there, they basically abandoned the place. Okay, this is where we're at.
many Union soldiers were being held prisoner in a converted racehorse. At least 257 of the captives died because of horrific conditions, and their bodies were discarded in a mass grave. Ultimately, the Union won, and a few weeks after, the Confederacy surrendered, and they packed up and left Charleston. A group of black workmen dug up the bodies.
Okay, everybody online, can everybody hear us? Please just put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the volume, if you can understand what's being said. I appreciate it. Everybody can hear it? Huh? Okay. Okay, I'll praise.
They built a fence around this makeshift cemetery with a sign over the entrance saying, Martyrs of the Rainforest. I spoke with Professor David White.
This is fair use, by the way, but one thing, this is fair use is what we're using this for, strictly for teaching. One of the things that she's sharing, I'm gonna try to get it a little closer, Byron. One of the things that she's sharing is regarding how the living conditions were so bad that the captains ended up, like about 140 of the captains in the war ended up dying because of the living conditions. And basically, black soldiers came in and dug up the bodies to give a proper burial. Okay, I'm gonna continue on.
An American historian and scholar was credited with bringing the story to light.
They held a huge parade, and it was about 10,000 people led by black children carrying armloads of all kinds of flowers. They paraded around the racetrack and they gathered as many as could fit into the cemetery compound. About 3 or 4 black preachers read from scripture, a children's choir, saying things that they sang, America the Beautiful. I couldn't believe it.
But still, hardly anyone knows about it.
On May 1st, 1865, is in effect the first original performance of everything, but it was created by African Americans.
Why have black people been omitted from a critical part of this holiday's history? I got an idea. Racism.
The White South was able to control.
Now that couldn't possibly be the case, right? That's the past. This is the past. So racism couldn't have anything to do with erasing Negroes from the pages of this history of this so-called holiday called Memorial Day as a remembrance. Okay. But the way we know it now is a Memorial Day parade. Memorial Day's on Monday, so Esau gets to upcharge everybody on room rates, food, clothing, materials. They can just, it's a Memorial Day sale. Everything's on sale. It's all about the worship of the dollar. It's all paganism. Okay. It doesn't have anything to do with remembering any history. It has everything to do with money. Okay. That's what it is now. This is where it started from. All right.
His history. I got an idea. Racism.
The White South was able to control first its own narrative and then a good deal of the national narrative.
Okay. If you didn't catch that, he said that the White South was able to control first its own narrative, then a good deal of the national narrative. So the Southerners were pretty much where the hardcore racists were. So they were able to control the narrative first, and then a good deal of the national narrative came from the South as well. Still does, actually.
Despite efforts to forget the contributions of African Americans, we remember. And just as we remember all of our fallen soldiers, we must also not forget the Black workers' local actions became the catalyst for the holiday that we recognize today.
What's up? I'm PJ with the want to bring you more series of videos like this, and we need your help. Let us know when you thought.
So everybody understand what we're talking about here has everything to do with the narrative, of course, of racism. Basically, let me turn this, remove this, and there we go. You guys may not have been able to hear me, but I wanted to make sure you guys saw that, because those were some of the soldiers that were responsible for beginning Memorial Day. Those were the Black soldiers that you would have seen that you would never hear of. You'll never hear of them in the history books. You won't hear of them on TV. You have to dig this information up. Okay? You have to dig this information up to find it. And, this is the history. Let's get Ecclesiastes 1:9. Okay? Because when it comes to Israel, when it comes to Israelites, when you start to remember our history, it comes at a price of exposing lies. Okay? Read what you got.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. Mm-hmm. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be.
Wait, stop right there. The thing that has been is that which shall be. Okay? That means that whatever's happened in the past is going to happen again. Okay, read.
And that which is done.
That which is done.
Is that which shall be done.
Is that what's going to be done. The same way our people went into slavery, came out of it in rulership, and we had other nations in subjugation, is the same way it's going to, and then we went back into slavery, it's the same way it's going to happen again. This time it's going to happen with an everlasting salvation for Israel. Okay? Because see, one thing everybody's got to understand, and we talk about community, okay? This is why here at Kingdom of Israel, we deal a lot with marriage when it comes down to it. Strong marriages actually build strong communities, and strong communities equal power. Now, you see, in any community to thrive, you got to have four vital parts of the infrastructure. You got to have four vital parts. You need a school, a bank, a hospital, and a grocery store. You got to have a place to feed them, a place to teach them, a place to pay them, and a place to take care of them. Okay. Now, let's remember what happened to our people in this country and why our communities are the way they are. Okay. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up some articles. I'm going to bring up some articles and share my screen in regards to some history that, everybody bear with me, in regards to some history that is not so positive. Actually, it's a shame. It's a shame. My first article I'm going to start with is regarding let's talk about the schools for a second. Okay. There's always a narrative being spoken about regarding schools and education. Okay. It always sounds good. Always sounds good. But it tends to really and truly fall short. And we're going to talk about some history real quick. Let me share my screen. Everybody bear with me. All right. Everybody see my screen? Let's see. No, not that. Let's go. There we go. Okay. That seems like that's coming out a little blurry, so I'm going to go ahead and just read it to you guys. This is an article called "Inequality and Desegregation." Okay, regards to Black schools that closed. Okay, so this was written by University of Chicago Law Review, and it was published initially in spring of 1972. Okay. All right. So let me pull this up. Okay. So, inequality and desegregation, black school closings. Where racially segregated residential patterns exist, the constitutional duty to desegregate a formally dual school system can be accomplished by two alternative methods. Okay, so they're giving you the playbook here. To close down a school, you need two methods. All right, two methods. The first and most obvious method involves busing black and white students among previously segregated schools. So you put blacks and whites on a school bus, right? The second method entails busing black students, but eliminates reciprocal busing of white students by closing formal black schools. From the perspective of many white parents, the second alternative has several advantages. First, the white student is relieved of the inconveniences inevitable in any busing plan. So they're inconvenienced because they got to ride on a bus with Negroes. Second, the white student avoids confrontation with what is considered an inferior environment. In some instances, the facility of the black schools will not be comparable to its white counterparts. More often, anxiety will be focused on general conditions in the black neighborhood: crime, drugs, gangs, and general urban blight, where that should say plight. Third, the white student escapes association with the school disdained by some whites as a quote unquote Negro institution. So you bust them together, you give them a chance to complain, then this is what you use. It's a black neighborhood, there's crime, drugs, gangs, and there's generally an urban plot. That's the problem, okay? I'm gonna read the school board. Chicago Law Review, April 11, 1972, the University of Chicago. That's who wrote this. The school boards achieved the same results by conversation rather than closing. The Department of Health, Education, and Welfare has noted a practice of converting a formerly black school to a special school or a vocational school, or of converting a former black high school to a desegregated junior high school while having the white high school continue to serve as the high school, proving racial motivation is in such instances less likely just pretty much in general. So that's how they did it. The all black high schools, they would turn those into middle schools, and the white schools would stay high schools. So that initially changes, that's how you desegregate, and that's how you start to get rid of a certain class of people in their schools. That's how you get rid of black schools. And that was what was done here in this country. Now, I'm gonna try to give you all, I want you guys to see this so you guys don't think that I wrote this. Okay. 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 Give me a second. There's one more. Okay, scores. Okay. I'll post the other one in the class. The next one is hospitals. Okay. I want to give a shout out to my elder brother William Robertson, who shared this with me. I would have never known about this, and I did some research, Brother William, Sister Deborah, about this all-black hospital called Homer G. Phillips Hospital was the only hospital for African Americans in St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, from 1937 to 1979, when the city still had segregated facilities located on North Witter Street in the Vile neighborhood. It was the first teaching hospital west of the Mississippi River to serve blacks. It continued to operate after desegregation of city hospitals and continued to serve the black community of St. Louis until its closure in 1979. By 1961, Homer G. Phillips had trained the largest number of black doctors and nurses in the world. Let me say that again. Let me read that again. And by 1961, in St. Louis, Missouri, Homer G. Phillips Hospital had trained, quote, the largest number of black doctors and nurses in the world. I want to let that soak in for a second. It closed as a full-service hospital in 1979. While vacant, it was listed as a St. Louis landmark in 1980 and on the National Register of Historic Places in 82. And then it reopened as senior living apartments in 2003. How about that? I'm gonna read about the closure, okay? Let me see if this works out a little bit better. Oh, I'm gonna share my screen. Everybody bear with me. Try to get this right. Okay. Let's see. Okay, how's that look on the screen? Can everybody see it? Everybody see it? Okay. So y'all know I'm not making this up. Okay. That gentleman right there, his name is William Lacey Clay Sr., leader of the opposition to the closure of Homer G. Phillips Hospital. He was in opposition of closing the hospital, okay? So as early as 1961, proposals were made to merge Homer G. Phillips with City Hospital. Where have we heard that before? Why is it that you got to merge? And next thing you know, you shut down. Isn't this something? Watch this. Although some leaders in the black community opposed the idea, such as William Lacey Clay, which is the brother right there, although some black leaders in the community opposed the idea, then a city alderman and later U.S. representative. So he was a city alderman, and then all of a sudden he became a U.S. representative. I wonder what he did. For Missouri's 1st District, accepted the notion. Local NAACP official Ernest Calloway said, giving up the hospital may be the price we have to pay for an integrated community. Let me ask y'all something. If you had a hospital in the community that had trained more black doctors and more black nurses on the entire planet, and the reason you shut that down is so you can integrate with white people, how much sense does that make? How much sense does that make? But you got this official from the NAACP, Ernest Calloway, said that's the best thing for us. Give up the hospital. Now, how many black-owned hospitals do we have? None. None. This was the largest as far as training was concerned. Giving up the hospital may be the price we have to pay for an integrated community. So it was more important for us to integrate with our oppressors than it was to keep pumping out doctors and nurses of our community. By the mid-1960s, efforts were underway to reduce services at the hospital or close it entirely. So it wasn't that they were having problems at the hospital. You know, it wasn't health, it wasn't cleaning, it wasn't fires, this, that, and the third. It was just the fact that it needed to close. It needed to close. Okay. You either close it or you stop teaching Negroes to be doctors and nurses. Okay. In the late 1960s, St. Louis City moved the neurological and psychiatric departments of Homer G. Phillips to City Hospital. So the brain doctors and the head doctors all got moved to the City Hospital, which is where the white folks were. Citing the low pay at Homer G. Phillips and distance from Washington University, staff who were affiliated with city hospitals as reasons for the move, because they lived in the suburbs. It was too far for them to get to work. Okay. From 1964 to 1975, I'm gonna read this and I'll be done. No other departments were moved. However, in August 1979, St. Louis abruptly closed, like all out of the blue. They abruptly closed all departments at Homer G. Phillips Hospital except for a small outpatient care clinic housed in an adjacent building. So it wasn't even in the hospital. It was like across the street. So y'all can keep the clinic, but we closing this hospital. You Negroes got to go. Okay. The community responded with protests, and more than 100 police officers were required to control the crowd and to escort remaining patients out of William Lacey out. William Lacey Sr. led opposition to the closure, and many of the community charged that the closure was racially motivated. What gave it away? Picketing and protests outside of the hospital continued for more than a year after the closure, and a community group called Campaign for Human Dignity was formed to continue the movement. Mayor James F. Conway commissioned a task force to study the issue of the hospital, but nothing resulted of the plan. Protests were ultimately unsuccessful in reopening the hospital. This is the story of America. This is the story of America. You know, when you see the history of a big part of Israel in this country come out of slavery and then start to form their own businesses, start to build up the infrastructure, this is what happens. You close it down. You make sure it's shut down. And then the mayor will come in and say, oh, we'll investigate it. Don't worry about it. And basically, don't call us, we'll call you. All right. That's really what happens. All right. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Okay. So now you all have heard of this all-black hospital, largest one, destroyed, ultimately destroyed. Ultimately destroyed. So, you know, we talk about the schools. We understand how they desegregated the schools and how they moved the schools out. Then we talk about the hospitals, ultimately just shutting them down, getting them shut down. Okay. Now, let's talk about what happened to the stores. Let's talk about the stores. Let's get an understanding of the stores. Okay. I want to pull this one up. Okay. So this is this is an article by the United National Library of Medicine, and they're talking about the intersection of neighborhoods, racial segregation, poverty, urbanicity, and its impact on food store availability in the United States. Okay, we're going to understand something, and you guys can pretty much see these things happening and coming alive in a lot of the neighborhoods even where you live. Okay. Background: food store availability may determine the quality of food consumed by residents. Neighborhood, racial, residence, segregation, poverty, urban, city independently affect food store ability, but the interaction among them has not been studied. Purpose: to examine the availability of supermarkets, grocery stores, and convenience stores in the U.S. Census tract according to neighborhoods, racial, ethnicity, poverty, and urbanicity. Methods: data from 2000 U.S. Census to 2001 USA. Okay, here are the results. As neighborhood poverty increases, pay attention to this, Israel. As neighborhood poverty increases, supermarket availability decreases, and grocery and convenience stores increase regardless of race and ethnicity. At equal levels of poverty, Black census tracts had the fewest supermarkets. White tracts had the most, and integrated tracts were intermediate. Hispanic census tract had the most grocery stores at all levels of poverty. In rural census tracts, neither racial component of the level of poverty preceded supermarket availability. All right. I'm going to break down what this is mean right here. Neighborhood racial, this is the conclusion. Neighborhood racial composition and neighborhood poverty are independently associated with food store ability. Poor, predominantly Black neighborhoods face double jeopardy with the most limited access to quality food and should be prioritized for intervention. These associations are not seen in rural areas, which suggests that the intervention should not be universal, but developed locally. So if you don't have any wealth in your neighborhood, you're not going to have a grocery store. So you're going to have to travel across town, and the grocery stores you're going to have, the quality of food is going to be terrible. I mean, we see that in our own city. That HEB on, what is it, New Braunfels? New Braunfels in East Houston. How does that HEB compare to the HEB over here? Could put two of them in there, right? You can put two of them in there, and the quality of food is like totally different, right? Totally different. I mean, that's a perfect example of what we're reading right here when it comes down to the poverty level and how that determines where they're going to put a grocery store. Okay. I mean, it determines where you're going to put a grocery store. And it's a different level of systematic oppression that never gets talked about, just never gets talked about. But you see it and you wonder why, and you talk about it, you're like, man, it's a shame how they do us over here. But it is. There's a reason to it. It's not just happening in one city, it's happening everywhere. It was systematic. Okay. Now, my last article over here is about the banks. You don't love this. And I think a lot of people have a very good idea, but probably not an idea about this. Okay. Watch this, Israel. Watch this. Okay. So we're finna learn about a bank that's little known. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Okay, good. It's a bank little known. Black Americans' rocky relationships with banks can be traced back to an institution that promised wealth but collapsed just after 9 years. It's called Freedmen's Savings. How's that sound? Man, I'm free. I can save. It's a black bank for us. Man, let's get it. Yeah. In Lexington, Kentucky. When the enslaved population was first freed, the Freedmen's Bank was established to provide a savings and wealth building tool. Sounds awesome, right? Sounds awesome. But just 9 years after it opened, the bank collapsed thanks to risky investments and mismanagement by the bank's all-white, all-male board. Black bank customers lost millions in deposits. Not hundreds, not thousands, but millions in deposits. I know from my own family history that the Freedmen's Bank collapse is to finance what the Tuskegee experiments are to healthcare, the spark that lit the fire of mistrust. In the 2008 housing market crash, can y'all, wait a minute, hold on. Can y'all imagine that? You thinking that you found a bank that finally is allowing you to build wealth, and all of a sudden they shut down and takes everything you got with it. Due to the mismanagement of the all-white staff that runs it. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. 2008 housing market crash hit African Americans hardest. Predatory lenders targeted poor and minority homeowners with high interest finance options and balloon payment structures. In addition, Black and Latino households were nearly 50% more likely to face foreclosure than their white counterparts. 50% more. According to the report from the U.S. Department of Treasury. Okay? This was not the first time Black people were exploited financially. A section of the 13th Amendment, here we go with the 13th Amendment, right? The 13th Amendment allows you to be a slave if you are locked up. You are back in slavery. 13th Amendment originally promised 40 acres and a mule to newly freed slaves. Everybody heard of that? Your 40 acres and a mule, that's where it came from. This is who was supposed to finance the 40 acres and a mule, okay? The proposal faced violent backlash from Southerners. They got violent. What? You gonna give them niggas some land and a mule? They should be out in the fields. Yeah. It faced violent backlash from Southerners and their Northern supporters. So it was eliminated from the legislation. Instead, the final bill President Lincoln signed included a provision to establish the Freedmen's Saving and Trust Company in New York City, March 1865. So instead of 40 acres and a mule, we got Freedmen Trust Bank. How about that? How about that? Ooh-wee. Black Americans would open an account for as little as a nickel. Interest was paid on deposits of one or more. Think about that. Think about how much money was really worth back then. You lose millions back then, that's got to translate into billions now, right? As little as a nickel on interest was paid on deposits of $1 or more. More than 100,000 Black people became customers. They included Black Union soldiers who had earned money in exchange for military service in the Civil War, and skilled laborers such as cooks, barbers, seamstresses, and carpenters. The bank's headquarters moved to Washington, D.C. in 1867, and eventually 37 branches were opened across the South. According to research by Constantine Yanels, assistant professor of finance at the University of Chicago, Booth School of Business, and his partner, Luke Stein, assistant professor of finance at Babson College, the short-term effects of being properly banked included raised incomes, literacy levels, and allowed the formerly enslaved population to accumulate wealth through land ownership. So they were buying land, they were accumulating wealth, they were getting educated, and their incomes were going up. It also allowed to smooth out the seasonability of farming by building up a cash cushion. So you could be a better farmer because in droughts, in a drought, you would turn around and have a backing of money to cover you in case you couldn't sell crops. Okay. Historians believe this is likely due to limitations on how much money could be withdrawn from the bank at one time, so that the bank customers were forced to save. This also facilitated the fraud that was to come. Freedman Bank closed. Okay. Close this. A short 9 years after opening, the Freedman Bank closed in 1874. The bank's deposits had been invested into risky, speculative ventures, and the first national, they were probably, I'm not going to say that. And the First National Bank had offloaded its liabilities onto Freedman Bank's books with the express consent of an all-white, all-male board of trustees. Sound familiar? Sound familiar, Israel? It does to me. It does to me. The board had modified the bank's original charter, ending the requirement that the deposits be invested only in government-backed securities. So before, so-called black people's money could only be invested in government-backed securities. They changed that. We could take y'all's money and invest it in anything. That's what they do now. The board also didn't notify their customers about the revision to the charter. They didn't tell you. Your money had to sit there. Over 60,000 depositors lost over $3 million. In today's dollars, that's $68.2 million. Think about that amount of wealth for a second. Frederick Douglass, who was brought on as the bank's president and invested $10,000 of his own money to prop up the bank, quickly resigned after recognizing the extent of the bank's losses. Douglass noted that the collapse of the Freedmen's Bank, quote, was equivalent to adding another 10 years of slavery to the Negro man. When does it stop? Where does it stop with this place? Because the Most High said we got to remember the things of old. But if we listen to our oppressors, oh, that's in the past. $68.2 million? Like they would have said back in the old gangster days, that's a handsome ransom. That's a handsome ransom. Ain't that a handsome ransom, Nava? And what could you do? What could you do? You couldn't do nothing if somebody spit on you. Can you imagine you lose everything you got when you had acquired wealth through all of what you've done, and you got to sit there, grin, and bear it?
I guess that's where they would say some former slaves went back to be called into service. You know, when you look back then, some of the slaves, you know, they had to go back,
right,
to master, because the master had to then pay them.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it wasn't going to be worth what they had.
Right. They had to go back because they didn't have anything else. What else could they do?
And there was nowhere to go.
There was nowhere to go.
There was no land and a mule promised to them.
Mm-mm.
And all the money was gone.
No. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, Israel. This was done intentionally. This was done intentionally, systematically, and this was the devil's chess move to keep a certain, you know, you don't have these stories about these banks with all white customers. You don't have these stores of supermarkets, of the schools, of the hospitals. You don't have these stories. You don't have these stories in this country. Why? See, this was not only done during the time of slavery here. This level of oppression was also done in ancient times to our people. We're gonna read about it. Let's go into the Apocrypha. Let's get and in case you happen to not know what the Apocrypha is. No. Here, never mind. Okay. Let's go to Apocrypha. Let's get Second Maccabees. In case you guys don't know, it's your first time with us. This is the Apocrypha. These are what's called the hidden books. Okay, this is what connects the so-called Old Testament in the Bible with the so-called New Testament. So this is what would be in your 1611 King James Bible. It was taken out by the Protestant Church because they didn't want you to know this history. And they didn't want you to know a lot of what we're getting ready to read right now. Let's go to the book of Second Maccabees. Okay. Let's go to Second Maccabees, and I want chapter 15. Second Maccabees 15. And we're going to start. Yeah, 15, we're going to start at verse 7.
This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
But Maccabees had ever sure confidence that Yahweh would help him.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them.
So he lifted up his people. He raised his people up, not fearing that the heathen or the other nations or the so-called white man was coming up against them. Okay, read on.
But to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven.
He remembered what had happened before, how the Most High intervened and gave the Maccabees strength, okay, to defeat their enemies. Okay, read on.
And now to expect the victory and aid which should come unto them from the Almighty.
Mm-hmm.
And so comforting.
Cite where you're at.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And so comforting them out of the law and the prophets, and with all putting them in mind of the battles that they won afore.
Mm-hmm.
He made them more cheerful.
He made them what?
More cheerful.
Read on.
And when he had stirred up their minds,
mm-hmm.
he gave them their charge,
mm-hmm.
shewing them therewithal the falsehood of the heathen.
The what?
Falsehood of the heathen.
Y'all see that? The falsehood of the heathen was the same back then in ancient times. It was the same straight out of slavery, and it's the same now. The Most High has declared the end from the beginning. And what has been shall be. You can't straighten these people out. What was made crooked, you can't make straight. They're never going to change. I got it, sweetheart. Thank you. They're never going to change. It's never going to stop, and they're never going to change. Okay? Read on.
In the breach of the oaths, verse 11. Thus he honored every one of them, not so much with defense of shields and spears,
mm-hmm.
as with comfortable and good words. And besides that, he told them a dream worthy to be believed, as if it had been so indeed, which did not a little rejoice them. And this was his vision, that Onias.
Wait. What verse you on?
12.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
That Onias, who had been high priest, a virtuous and a good man,
mm-hmm.
reverend in conversation.
He was reverend in conversation. He was talked well about in conversation. Okay. Onias was the father of the Maccabees. He was a mighty man of Israel. He was a Jew. He was a mighty man of war and a priest. All right, go ahead.
Gentle in condition, well spoken also, and exercised from a child in all points of virtue. Holding up his hands, prayed for the whole body of the Jews. He
prayed for the whole body of the Jews. See, I'm gonna tell y'all something, Israel. We all we got. I know some of our people are wicked as hell. I get it. And a lot of our people we don't get along with, even in this truth, right? We talk about them often. We challenge each other. We don't agree. Hey, did you text me? We don't agree. You know, we battle. We bang on each other. We can't bang. Camps are wicked. I'm gonna be by myself. Individualites are stupid. I'm being in a camp. We bang on each other. But when we learn from the former time, our high priest of Israel, we prayed for everybody. We prayed for each other as a nation of people. We prayed for each other. We don't do that. We don't do that enough. We don't do that the way we should. And these are things that we got to bring into remembrance. All of this is for a memorial. We got to make sure that we understand where all of these things come from. Those were black soldiers that thought up that created Memorial Day. Little black babies that were in that parade, burying white soldiers. And that's one thing about Israel, man. We got the biggest hearts on the planet. We love you even when you hate us. You understand what I'm saying? But when it comes to each other, we don't have that love, right? We don't have that love for each other. We can love everybody else, but when it comes down time to love our own people,
it's just like we can't do it.
We can't do it. It's like a block. It's like a brick wall right there. You can't do it.
Walk on the street and you just see like your own brother just looking at you going, wanting to fight.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. There's gonna come time where you're gonna look around and you're gonna be happy to see the people that you see on a daily basis. You're gonna be happy to be able to be in the same city and be around people that are in this walk in this truth. Running into them at the grocery store, seeing them at the gas station, maybe possibly bumping into them at the hospital, seeing them at school, seeing them at the bank. These are things in the infrastructure that were built up that any community needs to thrive and excel. And it was systematically destroyed by the so-called white man in this country. And we're reading the ancient the ancient transactions that they put on us through these banks, through what they did with our temple, through what they did in our communities, and what they continue to do now. Okay? Give me Ecclesiastes 25 and 11. Ecclesiastes 25 and 11.
$25 and 11, or 11 and 25.
Salakia, Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. There's no 25. It's Ecclesiasticus. I didn't read that right. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25 and 11, verse 11. And we're going to read 11 and verse 11 and verse 12.
Okay, come. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
But the love of Yahweh passeth all things for illumination.
Mm-hmm.
He that holdeth it, whereto shall he be likened?
What's he going to be likened to? The man that can hold on to the light of the law of the Most High. What's he going to be likened to? Read.
The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of his love.
So that's the beginning. Fearing the Most High, that's the beginning of his love. Read.
And faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him.
And what?
Of cleaving unto him.
The faith. The faith is the beginning of cleaving on to him. We got to have faith in the Most High that he's doing what he's doing for a reason, that he's delivering us for a reason. All of your faith goes into the Most High and the fact that he sent his son to redeem us as our high priest. Everybody understand that? Everybody understand that? Because that's the hope that we have. Because depending on the so-called white man, we ain't gonna have nothing. If we survive. If we survive, we'll be right back in slavery, asking Massa to put us back on the cornfield, and the sugar fields, the rice fields, cotton fields. All right? No more. I'm keeping the faith in the Most High. And Yahweh Shai, as our high priest, my general, my king and commander, when it's time for that war, you Negroes better be ready. You Negroes and Hispanics and natives, y'all better be ready. Okay? Because there's only one way out of this oppression. And it's to be delivered. It's to be delivered by the Most High, who created you and created this whole mess for us to learn, for us to repent and come back and keep his law, statutes, and commandments. That's what it was there for. All right. Let's get First Maccabees chapter 1. First Maccabees chapter 1, and we're gonna start at verse 41. And we're gonna read through 50.
Chapter 1, verse 40. Right?
41. Correct.
41. Okay. Look at First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41.
Uh-huh.
Moreover, King Antiochus
Uh-huh.
wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Read that again.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom
Mm-hmm.
that all should be one people.
He wrote to his whole kingdom that everybody should be one people, the same, a melting pot. What? Where have we heard that? Read on.
And everyone should leave his laws.
Everyone should what?
Leave his laws.
Leave his laws. Come on.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
No, according to the commandment of Yahweh.
The commandment of the king.
According to the commandment of the king, all the heathens, all these demons and devils, they all agreed that everybody should leave their laws and we should all be the same people. Read on.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Some of our people, even some of our own people, say, you know what? Yeah, we like keeping Christmas. Yeah, I believe in the Easter Bunny. But rabbits don't lay eggs. Yes, they do. You sure? Yeah. Okay. Okay. But brother, we're supposed to keep Passover. Oh man, that's done away with. Yeah, but the Messiah is black. Color don't matter. I'm following the king. These are the same Negroes back then that you see right now. Doomed.
I like it.
Doomed. Yeah, they like it. Yeah. Like that Jake we saw out on the street that one time. Knows that we're not supposed to eat pork. Knows this is part of the dietary law. Knows it ain't no good for us. Knows that it kills us. You ask him why he ate it? Because I like it. A lot of you Negroes gonna drop dead. And you wondering why we're getting put to death at such a high rate. Look what you're doing. Look what you care about. Look what you don't care about. All praise to the Most High. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Deborah. We really miss y'all too. All praise to the Most High. Go ahead, Kino. Read that.
Continue in verse 43.
Read that one from the top.
Okay. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion
Mm-hmm.
and sacrificed unto idols.
And sacrifice what?
Unto idols.
Unto idols. Sacrificed unto idols. They were already praying to the Virgin Mary. They were already praying to the bull, praying to Zeus, right? Praying to Thor, Superman, Caesar Borgias, right? Already praying to the rock, the Kabbalah, the what's that other thing? The Kaaba stone. They're already praying all of that. Read on.
And profane the Sabbath.
And what?
And profane the Sabbath.
And profane the Sabbath. Today's the Sabbath. They were profaning it. They didn't give a damn. They wanted to integrate. Like this Negro from NAACP. The only hope we got to be one people is to sell the hospital, brothers. Now look where we at. Not a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Read on.
Verse 44. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
That they should follow what?
The strange laws of the land.
Right. Read on.
And forbid burnt offerings.
Don't do no more burnt offerings. All the stuff that the Most High told you to do, the white man said don't do it. Read.
And sacrifice.
Don't do no more sacrifices. The white man say you can't do that. Read.
And drink offerings.
Don't do that no more either. He don't like that. Read.
In the temple.
In the temple. Go ahead.
And that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
They shouldn't keep the Sabbath or feast days. Because King Antiochus, the Edomite king, he don't want you to do that. He don't like that. That makes him uncomfortable. That's like, you know what, when you watch Django, when they first found out they went to his house, that made me think about when they first went to Calvin Candy's house. They told Django and them that he likes to be called Monsieur Candy. And he was like, oh, okay. And then the other white guy started speaking French. He said, no, don't speak French. It makes him uncomfortable. He don't like it. What? Your name is Calvin, but you want to be called Monsieur Candy. And then somebody starts speaking in that language. No, I don't like that. My commandment is this. Right? They've always been this way. Since ancient times. This ain't nothing new. Read on.
Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
Mm-hmm.
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh.
And sacrifice what?
Swine's flesh.
So they're sacrificing swine's flesh in the temples. Read.
And unclean beasts.
And unclean beasts. Read on.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
That they should leave their children uncircumcised. Read.
And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Profanation. Very good. It's the same thing that's going on in this country right now. Nothing applies. Anything righteous is deemed wicked. Anything wicked is deemed righteous. Good has become evil. Evil has become good. These are the same things that were going on in ancient times. And we're supposed to remember these things, Israel, so you can see it coming. Read.
To the end they might forget the law.
That they might what?
Forget the law.
That's what's going on with our people right now. We don't know what laws to keep, what the law says, how to keep it, or even understand which law is what. We don't even know. We don't even get it. We done forgot the law. Read.
And change all the ordinances.
Mm-hmm.
And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
He should what?
He should die.
He should die. Salaki, that was Sister Dina. I apologize. We miss y'all too, sis. The king said, if you keep the Sabbath or anything that the Most High told you to keep, you're going to die. We're going to put you Negroes to death. Don't want to eat pork? Off with his head. That make you nervous? Don't want to keep Easter? Off with his head. Don't want to be a homosexual? Off with his head. Oh, you want to read the scriptures and pray? Off with his head. It's coming. Israel, these scriptures are coming. This time is coming where you're going to have to make a choice. whether you're going to live or die for this truth, whether you're going to live or die for the Most High. You understand that? You're going to have to make a choice, just like our forefathers did, by the same wicked ass so-called white man that's in these scriptures that's still here on earth, doing the same exact thing that they've been doing. They never paid for anything that they've done. That's why the Most High said, vengeance is mine, because the way he's going to do it, we ain't going to understand it. We ain't going to imagine it, but it's going to be a glorious day here on earth, and it's coming.
Right now, they are getting it off easy right now.
Choose you this day who you going to serve. Choose ye this day, as we stand here right now, who you going to serve, Israel. You going to serve so-called white man and what you want to do, or you going to serve the Most High? See, Mighty Second Officer Will last night brought out a powerful lesson about understanding. And a lot of the issues that we have in today's society is based in confusion. That's why this place is Babylon. And that's what Babylon means, is confusion. And that's what's going on in this world. It's nothing but a bunch of confusion. We're still in captivity to the same people we were in captivity to in this book in ancient times. Give me Job 9:24. We're still in captivity to the same people, Israel. It ain't changed. It ain't changed.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Read it again.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Read it again.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked run this earth. And who's the worst of the worst? Some of you Negroes want to believe the Arabs are Esau. Man, Palestinians out there throwing rocks at tanks. Today, last week, they still throwing rocks at tanks while the white man's bombing them with F-18 fighters. They shoot missiles that ain't even leaving their lands. It's crashing in their own territory.
It's hitting. They shoot missiles up to the sky so high it's hitting the dome coming back.
They're not even damaging these people. They shoot a missile that won't even leave their territory, and then here comes the so-called white man with F-18 bombers. They drop 200 missiles, pinpoint accuracy. Reported that they killed over 280 people. Y'all know they killed more people than that, right? That's just what they're telling us, right? Why would we believe anything they've ever said? Why would we ever believe anything they told us? Because Master's always loved us, right? Always wanted us to be one people. We all supposed to be Americans, right? Well, how come the ones that are getting murdered, shot and killed, locked up, abused, starved, why don't they look like the ones that are doing it? You've been bamboozled. I'll show you something. Did you get all, is that all on there?
No.
Okay, finish that.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
The wicked has covered the faces of the judges thereof. What does that mean? Who are the judges? Yahushua and the apostles, the Most High. Who do they look like? Who changed what they look like into them? The wicked of the earth. Whether it's 1100 ACE, 1100 CE, or 2021, 1 and 1 is still 2. And the wicked is still in power. Go ahead and finish that.
If not, where?
If not, where? Where, if it's not the so-called white man, where is the wicked that changed the face of the judges? Where?
And who is?
And who is he? And who is he? If it ain't him, who is it? Prove it. We're gonna show you. We're gonna show you. We're gonna show you what it is, Israel. Let's see if oh, all right. Okay, can you guys hear me? Shalom, shalom. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Please put a 1 in the chat, family, if y'all can hear me. That worked? Everybody can hear me? All right. Good? Okay. We're going to watch this clip. This is fair use. Fair use right here. And this is a committee meeting that I somehow stumbled upon that happened in 2019, fairly recent. You know, you know it's pre-pandemic because everybody ain't got no mask on, right? So huh? Pre-pandemic, pre-plandemic. Did I say it right? The pre-plandemic. Okay. We got our good brother Al Sharpton over here on the roaster. They got him on the road. You know the thing that you skewer the chickens and you turn it? Okay, they got him on that. Okay. Check this out. I don't know if you all can hear that. Seems like that's coming through a little low. Let's try it again. Let's see. No. Let's see. Try it. It's my last video right here. Can y'all hear him? Can y'all hear him? Okay. Guys, let me know in the chat if y'all can hear it. For some reason it's okay. Okay. Let me know if you can hear this. We're gonna start from here. Okay, hold on. Let me try something different. Because that's very quiet. Try something different. Bear with me, family. See if I can get bear with me. Okay. Bear with me for a second. I don't want you guys to get too much of that. I'm going to try to, instead of doing that, I'm going to try to go ahead and share my screen. All right, sound check. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try to share my screen. See if this can work. All right, let's try this. Everybody bear with me for a second. Echo. All right, let me shut that down. All right, bear with me. I'm just reconfiguring my setup. Give me 1 second, family. And you guys should be able to see it better. Give me 1 second. Okay. let's see if that's better. Okay, let's try this. So we can shut this all down. There we go. I don't think we got the echo anymore. Let's see. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we should be able to hear it better. You guys should be able to hear it better. Okay. Bear with me. Give me 1 second. Get that screen share up in a second. Wholehearted, I got you. Sounds low. Yeah. Kind of. Can't really hear it. Okay. We're gonna fix it up. We're gonna fix it. Most High willing. Okay. Again, this is a city committee. This is a federal committee meeting. Yeah, I don't see something, man. Get it right. With our good brother Al Sharpton. And this is fair use, family. This is going to be fair use. All right. Let me share my screen right quick. See if I got that right. See. Okay. I want it the other way. Let's see. Everybody kind of. Hold on. I'm gonna make sure I get this correct mundo. Give me a second. All right. Get this. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I want to make the video the bigger part of the screen. So let's see. Add myself to the screen. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get it right, Israel. I'm gonna get it right. see. Okay. I'm just gonna make this full screen right here. This way you all can see it. And you all should be able to hear it. Fair use. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's see. Should be playing right now. All right. Let's see. The Reverend's supposed to be playing. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. I have to shut it down on that side. All right. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely not going to be watching that. Try it here. Okay. Hopefully there's not an echo anymore. I think we may have took care of that. Okay. All right. Now I got it where I want it. Well, let's see if we'll get some play. Oh wow. This is definitely a commercial right here, Israel. Who's unresponsive? Okay. So let's see. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to pull it up again. Here from the source. Appreciate everybody being patient right here. Just trying to get the technicalities together. Technicalities. That's a word, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. We might be in business here, fam. Oh wow. Yeah. Let's see. Hmm. All right. No dice. No dice, huh? Okay. So what I'm gonna do? Let's see. Uh, mm, mm, didn't load up. Let me see. Mm. Okay. Bear with me. I'm not getting any luck on this one. Trying to come up. Running real slow right here. Mm, Okay. 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 We'll try something else, Israel. One more thing. Yeah, keep it down real quick. Let's see. Try to come in on this one in a second. Stop sharing that screen. Uh, so- okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen over here. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Trying to share my screen up here. Tap 10. Okay. There we go. All right. Let me fix some volume right quick. I'm still getting feedback. Make sure that's not up. A little feedback. How's it sound? Trying to see if I can get some volume, family. Hold on. Okay. How about now? Good. Okay. Let's see if we can get some volume from the video. This one's working. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Let's see if it'll rock with me today. Yeah. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get the full screen action going. Might be down and out on this one. Let's see. Yeah, we might be down and out on this one. We'll see. Let's do this while we're waiting on that. This would have been a very, very good clip out on this if I could have had it to play. But it really shows the disdain that they have for that they really have for us. While we're as a people. Can't get the video very if I could have had it to play. Yeah, so I don't want to shows the disdain that they are us as a people. Yeah. I'm not gonna be able to get that one to play for whatever reason. Yeah. Okay. I tried Israel, and that would have been gonna be a good one too. I mean, I'm talking about like the racism in that one and the hatred. You can just eat it. Yeah, that's how much the hatred is on that one. Whatever reason. And really, what it was, I tried Israel, and that would have been it. Down. What it was I'm talking police reform. They're talking about police reform, and basically the Negro committee that was up there was there to talk about the police reform. Really went down. What it ended up talking about police reform, and basically the Negro what went down was they were basically talking about police reform, and it was supposed to be about police reform, but what it turned into was a good old fashioned lynching, public lynching is what it was of Al Sharpton. It was definitely it definitely exposes it. I'm gonna try to leave the link up in the video description, but let's go ahead and get my last set of scriptures. Okay, let's go to Jeremiah 30, chapter 1. I'm sorry, 30 Jeremiah 30 verse 1. I'm gonna do that. Oh, in Israel, if I could have got that up, let me tell you, man.
Satan trying to stop.
Oh yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I'll leave the link up in the description, and you guys will actually get a chance to see what I mean.
Let me start.
Yeah, go ahead and bring it out.
Look at Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Thus speaketh Yahweh Elohim of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah, saith Yahweh. And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah.
Okay. Okay. Stop right there.
Okay.
Stop right there. What verse you on?
5 now.
Verse 5. Hold on one second.
Ready?
No, hold what you got real quick. No, I'm getting too much feedback here. I'm just gonna put the link of the video that I'm trying to show you all in the description box, and this way you guys can watch it later. You guys can watch it after that. I'm gonna put it right up here in the chat. Okay. So everybody can get a chance to watch that. Please watch that on your own time. Very necessary. Very necessary. All right. Go ahead and bring out that. Go ahead and bring out that Jeremiah.
Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 5.
Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 5. Okay, come on.
For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice trembling of fear and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail. And all faces are turned into paleness. All faces are what? Turned into paleness. Okay, what verse you on? 7. Verse 7, come on. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble,
Okay, this is talking about Jacob's trouble. And read.
which he shall be saved out of it.
But he shall what?
Be saved out of it.
Okay, read that stronger. Okay, keep reading.
Verse 8, for it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him.
The strangers aren't going to serve themselves anymore of Jacob, because the Most High is going to redeem us. Okay, that's what's happening right now. All of these strangers, they're doing whatever they want to do to benefit off of Israel. Read on.
Verse 9, but they shall serve Yahweh, their Elohim,
Uh-huh.
and David, their king,
Mm-hmm.
whom I will raise up unto them.
Read.
Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh, neither be dismayed,
Don't be dismayed. Come on.
O Israel.
Mm-hmm.
For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity.
And he's going to what? The what?
The land of their captivity.
He's going to save not only Israel, but the descendants of Israel from the land of their captivity. Read on.
And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid.
And none shall make him afraid. This is the promise that the Most High is giving to the children of Israel. Read on.
Verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
For I am with thee,
Mm-hmm.
saith Yahweh, to save thee,
To save thee. Come on.
though I make full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee.
So he's going to make an end of all of those nations. Their power is going to come to the end. Read.
Yet I will not make a full end of thee.
So he's not going to put an end to us. Our rulership, our salvation, our promise that the Most High has given us is going to endure. Read on.
But I will correct thee in measure.
But he's going to what?
Correct thee in measure.
All of this is for correction. Everything that I'm showing you, all of this about the memorial, all of these things that we're supposed to remember, it's about correction. He's going to correct us in measure. Read.
And will not leave thee altogether unpunished.
So we're not going to be altogether unpunished. We're not going to go unpunished for all the wickedness that we're doing as a nation. Read.
Verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous.
And the wound is grievous. This is going to hurt. What we're going through, we're never going to forget it. Read.
There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicine. All thy lovers have forgotten thee, and seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy.
Of a what?
Enemy.
He's wounded us like an enemy would have wounded us. Read.
With the chastisement of a cruel one.
Of a cruel one. Chastisement is a beating, a whooping, a punishment of a cruel one. Read.
For the multitude of thine iniquity.
For all the wickedness and sin that you've done. Read.
Because thy sins were increased.
You didn't stop. You kept going. You kept going. We kept doing whatever we wanted to do. Read.
Verse 15. Why criest thou for thine affliction?
Why are you crying now? You did what you wanted to do. Read.
Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity. Because thy sins were increased, I have done these things unto thee.
Because you kept sinning. You stayed in sin. So I'm going to continue to do this. Read.
Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured.
Read that again.
Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured.
All they that devour thee shall be devoured. The ones that are eating us up and destroying us, that are feeding off of us, that are oppressing us, they're going to be devoured. Read.
And all thine adversaries.
All of our adversaries. No, some of our adversaries.
All thine adversaries.
All of our adversaries. Read.
Every one of them.
No, not the white man.
Every one of them.
No, not the Chinese man.
Every one of them.
Read.
Shall go into captivity.
Shall what?
Go into captivity.
Shall go into captivity. Read.
And they that spoil thee.
Everybody that robbed us and took our women, took our children, took our husbands, our fathers, our mothers. Read.
Shall be a spoiler.
They're going to be taken into captivity. Read.
And all that prey upon thee.
All of them that feed off of us and take and steal, rob, and kill from us.
Will I give for a prey.
He's going to let us take from them. They're going to serve us. Read.
For I will restore health unto thee,
and
I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith Yahweh, because they called thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Thus saith Yahweh, Behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents and have mercy on his dwelling places.
And he's going to have mercy on our dwelling places. Read.
And the city shall be builded up upon her own heap. And the palace shall remain after the manner thereof.
Read.
And out of them shall proceed thanksgiving and the voice of them that make merry. And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. Their children also shall be as aforetime.
The children are going to be like aforetime. Read, like before.
And their congregation shall be established before me. And I will punish all that oppress them.
And I will what?
Punish all that oppress them.
Everybody that oppresses us, the Most High is going to punish them. It's written. Read.
And their nobles shall be one of themselves. And their governors shall proceed from the midst of them.
We're going to have our own governors. We're going to have our own nobles, our own royalty. Read.
And I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. For who is this that engaged his heart to approach unto me?
Read.
Saith Yahweh. And ye shall be my people.
And ye what?
And ye shall be my people.
Come on.
And I will be your Elohim.
Come on.
Behold, the whirlwind of Yahweh goeth forth with fury, a continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked.
It shall fall with pain what?
Upon the head of the wicked.
Upon the head of the wicked. Read.
The fierce anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it.
Later on. He's saying back then, during the time of Jeremiah, later on, y'all are going to consider it. He's talking about now. We're considering all these things that he's going to do to our enemies right now. Because now we got a more sure way of prophecy and understanding prophecy. That's it.
We have hope now. Israel has hope.
That's the hope. That's right. Israel has hope. All of this ain't for nothing. Okay? It's like he said, it's a chastisement. It's a correction. We're not going to go unpunished for our wickedness. And because we increased in our wickedness, this is why he's punishing us. This is why we have to be corrected. Consider that we're in the last days right now, because it's more important now than ever that we serve the Most High, Yah of Israel. And we come together as a nation of people to identify the enemy. We got to know who the enemy is. And then to separate ourselves from our oppressors in any way we got power to. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I hope you guys will take a look at that link in the chat. If you all have any questions about the lesson, if you have any discouragement as far as your faith, a level of understanding that you can't come to, please reach out to us. You got brothers and sisters, mighty brothers and sisters here with Kingdom of Israel worldwide that is here to help you. We're here to serve the nation and to serve the Most High and Yahweh Shai. Okay. I'd like to give a thanks to Soldier Keenar right here for helping me with the lesson. I want to thank everybody that's here on the chat with me in the class. As always, I want to give double honors to the elders and messengers of the covenant. Shout out to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad. Shout out to leadership and the whole congregation of Kingdom of Israel. And I want to give all honor, power, and glory to the Most High Yahweh in the name of his own begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. I'm Captain Shazael R.A. With that, say Shabbat Shalom.